Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? So today, I want to talk about the coronavirus. I know, I know this isn't. All of our videos are normally kind of technical based, and this one actually is. So stick with me here. But the reason I'm mentioning the coronavirus is obviously it's widespread at the moment. It's in all the news and things. And whenever I'm producing these videos, I always think, what have I been up to, and what has the business been up to in the last week or so, which normally is an indication of what's going on in general and therefore what information people are after. So I just thought I would talk about the coronavirus a little bit, but from a technical perspective in terms of how we would manage perhaps being locked down at home, for example, and how the business would continue to function. That's the perspective I'm coming from here, not a medical perspective. I'm not a doctor in any way, shape or form. I can't give medical advice on this. All I will say on that side of stuff, just to touch on it for 20 seconds, is the only thing we've done here at the office is obviously make sure there's plenty of hand wash available to all of our team. And a very small thing I've done is traditionally we use towels in our toilets. We're a small business here. We don't have fancy hand dryers and things. So we use towels. As a short-term measure, I'm replacing them with disposable hand towel, with paper towel, sorry. So obviously, just in case somebody's hands aren't quite clean and they were a carrier and it was on the towel, you get the idea. That's a small thing I've chosen to do, not because I have medical grounds to back that up. It was just logic says to do that to me. So that's the only thing we're doing here, and that's the only thing I'm going to mention from a medical perspective. Not even that's medical, to be honest. It's more a cleanliness perspective, isn't it? Right, okay, so let's talk about how our business would function if we were in lockdown and unable to travel into the office, because I think it would serve quite well to other businesses. I don't think we've got a bad template here of how we would work, and if you can take something from this and apply it to your own business or where you work, I think that would be a really good thing. So from that perspective, let's go over a few things. So how would we function not coming into the office? So first and foremost, just to be clear here, is we don't have the need for physical on-site servers in our offices, because all of our systems, we've been so focused on running all of our systems cloud-based, and all cloud-based means is that they are accessible from the internet and accessible very easily over the internet as well. So we don't have the requirement to connect into the office. We don't have the requirement to access a physical box sat in our office. So that is the way we've positioned our business for the last few years, and there's huge benefit to that, and I'm going to go through that now. So if we were unable to get into the office, right, the punchline here is we would be able to function from a support perspective as normal. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to travel to our sites, to our customer sites and help them on site and do installs and things, clearly not. But from a support perspective, in terms of answering calls, responding to people, we can function completely as normal. I do a lot of working outside the office. I travel around a lot. I do bits of work from home. I actually work from some of our customer sites sometimes. I work from McDonald's, other restaurants are available because of all these systems we have in place. So I'm going to give a very, very brief overview of what they are and why they're a good thing. So the number one application for us as a business is our help desk system. That is whenever customers log support queries with us, when they haven't phoned it through, it fires into a help desk system. That help desk system is available from any computer with an internet connection. So the lifeblood of our business is that system, and we can access it from anywhere, on any computer, on any device, and away we go. And that literally would serve us for 80% of what we do. It would certainly cover all the stuff we do with customers. The remaining 20% is the internal stuff, which I'll go through in a second, to do with finance and internal chat and internal sharing. But yeah, we would function massively. If we could only even have that one system, we would function as a business. So the beauty of that is our core number one application isn't tied to our premises or tied to our physical location. It's accessible from anywhere. And that's the same principle you'll hear me repeat a little bit on these next few things. So next up, the next key system for us would be our account system. and our account system, as I talked about in a previous video. If you want to have a look back through our previous videos and subscribe, please do so. I've talked about how we used to use Sage, but we actually migrated a long time ago into a cloud-based account system. Again, all I need to access that system is a computer with an internet connection, and I can log in and get a live update of exactly where our accounts are at, who's paid us, who's not paid us, issue invoices, issue quotes, manage all of that side of stuff, liaise with our accountants, liaise with our bookkeeper. I can do it all through that one platform. Again, I'm not tied to a server here on site which has got Sage installed on it. None of that. It's just accessible from the cloud. So that is a next. Already we're up to literally 95% of our business. That's how we could serve with just them two systems. The remaining couple of things are things internally we use together as a team to communicate. Obviously, we physically talk to each other. I say obviously you might not know our setup here. We've got a small business. There's like 6 of us here. It's not hard for us to talk to each other. But when, like I said, a lot of the time though, there's always 1 or 2 or 3 of us out and about sometimes. So the point there is we replaced internal email a long time ago with Slack. And Slack is like an instant messaging thing. It's like, if a lot of you are maybe familiar with things like MSN Messenger back in the day, it's like a grown-up business version of that. So we're able to all keep in contact with each other via Slack when we're out the office or people aren't here. We can put it into Slack and have a nice group chat. So if we was all kind of locked down at home, we would just probably chat to each other on that. There's the phone as well, which I'm going to come to, of course, but there is Slack and we can talk to each other on Slack. We don't do internal emails. We haven't done internal emails for years. Personally, I don't even see the point of internal emails. Once you've used a system like Slack, like you don't need that volume of emails in your email, like who wants a sandwich this Friday morning going to all 100 of your employees. Doesn't need to be done like that. There's much better and smarter ways, but I don't want to digress. Check out Slack for your internal communications. And then, there's our actual phone system. As I'm sure you can appreciate, we need to receive calls. We need to make calls. Whilst we're a technology company and we can do all these wonderful things, we are very customer service driven, and the phone is an absolute essential tool in that. I like to be able to pick up the phone and reach out to somebody and go, hi, how can I help, basically. And I like them to be able to reach out to me as well. So our phone system, again, we use a VoIP-based system. All VoIP means it's connected to the internet. It's dependent on the internet. We don't need a physical line. We don't need the likes of BT or other phone providers to provide us with physical lines and things. None of that. Our phones literally connect to the internet and they just work. So I could pick up the handset I have here in the office on my desk. I can go home, plug the Ethernet cable into my router and the other end into my phone, and away I go. It just works like that. So that's the first thing we could do. There is things we can do with software where I can install a piece of software on my computer and actually use my computer to make and receive calls. That's okay. I've played with it in the past. It's all right. But to be honest, I just take my physical handset home, to be honest. I like using the physical handset, picking up the phone. I like doing that. So that is actually what I would do. So our phones would still ring, our phones would still be answered, and our team would still phone people back because of the internet-based phone system. So I think what I'll do is I'll just quickly recap here, and just so you can at least give you food for thought about what you can do. So any key systems, I appreciate there might not be time to do this now, but if nothing else, it might give you thoughts for another day. But as much as possible, question why you're tied to your office premises to access a specific application or key business system. Can that be put into the cloud somehow? And therefore the ease of access from anywhere. Of course, it needs to be done properly and securely, but that might just open you up into another world and might give your employees flexibility to be able to work remotely and things. So think about that. Get your key systems cloud-based. That's first and foremost. Internally, look at systems like Slack for instant messaging, for talking to your team no matter where you are. There's a great app available for Android, for Apple, for Windows. So it's on any platform. Have a look at that. And one thing I just realised I didn't mention is from our email perspective, because we don't do a lot of email, but we use Office 365. And again, that's accessible from anywhere. So we can access our email and the files that we keep within the 365 system, again, from anywhere. That could be on one of our actual work laptops with proper Microsoft Office installed, but it also might just be using the web portal just to quickly pick up some information from there. So get your email system and your communication systems cloud-based. A lot of businesses already are, to be fair, with the email side of stuff. Business has been doing that for the last few years, which is great. But yeah, just consider that. And then look at what else you can do with your other comms. Like I said, with your phone system, do you need a traditional phone system? Even as a short-term emergency measure, if the UK got put into lockdown next week, I'm not saying it will, and I don't think it will, but I'm just saying if it did, could you literally have a secondary number you set up today, which is with a VoIP provider, and you can check and test it now, and the worst case scenario for you is you just tell your customers and suppliers, short-term measure, ring us on this number instead for a bit, and that's somebody sat at home with an internet phone able to pick up the calls to your business, even if it was just one person of your team, even if it was just your receptionist or your admin person or your customer service staff. Why not do that? Test it out today. It should only take a day to nail this, tops, and you've got a backup phone number if nothing else, so do check that out. So check out them bits and pieces: Slack, Office 365, VoIP-based internet systems, and then see what else you can do with your main systems to get them cloud-based. Just think about it, talk to people, get opinions, get advice, see what's out there. There's the rare occasion it might come back to you needing something on site. I completely appreciate that. But just ask the questions. There's no harm in that, and evaluate what's available to you. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too much of a like. I don't want these videos ever to be negative, and I completely appreciate the coronavirus is a very serious issue. But I just wanted to take a technical standpoint, a remote working standpoint on how you might continue to work and things. So hopefully it's given just a little bit food for thought, hopefully, and I hope it has. So if it has, please do smash the like button for me. It really helps our videos on our YouTube channel. Please do comment on this video, and I'll try and personally get back to you with any ideas you've got, any thoughts that you've got. If I can be of help, then please do just drop a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And likewise, down below this video, please do check out my links to connect with me on Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.